Good morning, everyone. I will get started. I will call State of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks, case number 21 CF 1848. May I have the appearances, please?
Good morning, Judge Sue Upper, Leslie Basie, and Zach Witchow appearing for the State of Wisconsin.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Please state your name for the record.
I'm here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value and return for value all of the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any other facts in the charging instruments.
Record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is present in person in custody in street clothing, wearing a suit and tie and a mask.
For the record,
today.
I do not consent to being called that name, Your Honor.
All right,
And we still have yet to address subject matter jurisdiction.
The court has addressed it for the record. So
For the record, has it been proven?
Mr. Brooks, I stand by the written decision that I issued in this case last week. A second copy was provided. Please don't interrupt me. A second copy was provided to you. I know you saw it because you tore it up yesterday. So I'm not going to address it any further. You are mistaken and wrong about the law that it needs to be verified or proven.
Are you talking about the paper I accepted in return for value?
So with that, I believe,
value?
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to continue with this trial, whether you believe jurisdiction has been proven or not.
It has not been proven for the record.
And it has. So with that, Detective Carpenter was on the stand.
And it needs to be proven.
And I
Per the prosecution.
Would like to have him brought back up regarding the redacted recording. I would remind Mr. Brooks the court did enter some rulings previously. Why do you have to roll your eyes at me? Let's start the morning off on a good note, sir.
I didn't roll my eyes at you, so I don't think it's fair that you should say I rolled my eyes at you.
I saw you roll your eyes at me. I'm not
I didn't roll my eyes at you, so don't do that.
Well, Mr. Brooks, I'd appreciate a little bit more respect. These rulings,
too, Your Honor.
Let me finish, because now you're interrupting me. These rulings were entered by the court to prevent other acts evidence from coming in. But a defendant can open the door in a variety of ways. These recordings, and I have reviewed them previously, do contain discussion and statements by you regarding these other acts. You can open the door by asking questions, by asking for a video to be played, and not knowing those exact timestamps. I don't need a response from you unless you feel you would like to give a response to any of that.
With all due respect, they're the ones that want to play the video, so I don't understand how I'm the one opening the door. They chose to play the video, so.
They're not going to play the entire video, though. They're going to redact out, probably stop, fast forward the portions that this court said would be inadmissible.
That's almost like you making a ruling and then it not having any standing. If you already made a ruling.
The ruling's against them. I told the state they can't offer this evidence.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So if you offer the evidence or ask questions that would open the door, that's a different story. And we all have treaded lightly when you've asked questions that would have opened the door to a variety of witnesses. So the state's just simply saying, look, we're going to do our job. We're not going to put in the other act's evidence. We're going to pause the video, fast forward the appropriate spots. But if you want any portions replayed, or if you ask for the entire video to be played, then you do that at your peril of having those other acts' evidence come in. So that's all I want to tell you. Let me ask Attorney Basie a question about the contact the Office of the District Attorney has had with Mr. Marquez. Were you able to communicate at all in any way in English, even if you would describe it as broken English?
Yes, I think our last conversation we probably said, I said something in English, he responded, and then when I said something else, I think he needed translation for that. His primary, our victim witness person, specialist assigned to the case, is bilingual and she speaks to him in Spanish.
How do we know exactly what words the witness will be able to understand in English versus?
That's not how the interpretation works. The questions are in English, they're interpreted in Spanish to the witness. The witness will answer, presumably in Spanish, and then the witness's words will be interpreted in English, and it's the English, as this instruction says, that is the evidence.
I think it's a little unfair that prosecution has had conversations with the witness and I haven't, considering that it's my witness.
They were on the state's witness list as well, I believe. So it's fair for either party to reach out, and if witnesses want to talk to either party in preparation, that's frankly fair game.
So how would I be able to reach out to a witness?
Mr. Brooks, you are representing yourself. That obviously poses some challenges and difficulties, but that is the state and stage that we are at. So with that, I know we'll get Detective Carpenter on the stand. He can come up and be out here when the jury comes out. So come on up, sir. I will swear you in again, as is my practice when there's a witness on the stand for a second day.
I have one more thing real quick.
Well, it needs to be other than subject matter jurisdiction, so what is it?
You didn't even let me get to it.
I said, what is it? I said it needs to be something other than subject matter jurisdiction.
Can I
What
get
is
to it?
You can say.
There's no way to know what I'm going to say if I can't say it.
Mr. Brooks, please tell me what it is you'd like to address.
I want to address why my ICFs have not been addressed, because I know you have them. Why have I not getting copies? I've gotten copies of every other ICF. Why not the recent ones?
Sir, I am not going to be the intermediary anymore for ICFs that are directed to the clerk of court regarding copies.
That's not explaining why I haven't.
I'm not the
even been
keeper of
told
the record.
if
So
they've
if there's
been
something
received.
you want me to address, then you should address your ICF to me and not the clerk of court.
Well, where is the ICF?
Sir,
If I sent it, I should be able to get a copy. I've gotten copies of every single one.
You need
whether
to
they were
ask
addressed,
for that from the clerk of
whether
court.
they were addressed to you or whether they were addressed to the clerk of courts. I've always
I'm not going to
been
address
told.
that further, Mr. Brooks. I'm not going to be the intermediary when
So
you
what's
have
the-
questions to the clerk of court.
So
for
what's the
copies
point of
and
me
things like
sending the
that.
ICF, me doing what you asked me to do, and sending them, and then not being able to know if they've even been received and get a copy of them, which I've been getting
If
copies
you
of
did
them
not
ever
ask
since.
for a copy of the ICF, they don't have any obligation to
I
send it.
I addressed it when I first sent it. I asked you on the record, did you receive it?
Mr. Brooks,
You
I
said-
didn't receive anything because nothing has been sent to me.
Well,
So
where's the
if there's
ICF?
something that you need, then you should reach back out to the clerk of court.
I shouldn't have to do
But we're
that
not
if I
going to
sent
take
it.
up court time regarding an ICF sent to the clerk of court. Again, I will advise you once again, I did this the other day, if there's something case related, it needs to be addressed to me. If it has to do with the record, it needs to go to the clerk of court.
And it was.
Because I
it was
am
sent to the
not
clerk of court.
the
But I still should be.
custodian.
I still should be able to be told if it was received and get a copy, which you've done that before every single ICF.
And I told you I
So why
would
does
no
it change?
longer be doing that, sir, because of this very issue. It
So you
takes
saying
up
so
court
now
time.
it changes? So now it changes all of a sudden?
No, it didn't change all of a sudden, sir, and you know that. So don't try to confuse
Does
the
it
record.
change all of a suddenly? Because
No,
I've been getting copies of everything I've sent, which is what you asked me
This
to do.
changed last week, and you
It
know
should.
that.
It shouldn't change.
So
no,
with
I don't know
that,
it.
I'm bringing the jury out, and I'm not addressing this issue.
So
sir.
I
We're
want the
gonna
copy of
continue
my
forward.
ICS that I send.
Send the request to the
I don't
clerk's
have to send
office.
her another request. Where's the one that I just sent last week?
All right, the jury is going to come out, so please be respectful.
I will, but at the same time, you still have to. I did what you asked me to do. If you tell me to do something and I do it, and then now you're saying I'm not going to get a copy, which you've been providing them ever since you told me to do it.
Mr. Brooks, the rules on that changed last week.
No,
You
no,
know
it
that.
did not. I'm still supposed to be able to say if it's been received or not. So why should I have to send multiple ICFs to even know if they've been received? That's ridiculous, Your
I'm
Honor.
going to give the parties the final version of jury instruction 60, which I will be reading at the
That's-
appropriate time.
Come on, you can't change stuff at the last minute. You
No,
asked me
Mr.
to do
Brooks, I
something.
did it as a courtesy,
You
and
act-
frankly,
no.
you're not courteous
I'm not.
to me.
I'm not
So
even.
the
I'm
jury's
not even.
coming out.
I'm not even
The
referring
record
to
should
that.
reflect that the jury
I'm referring
is
to the
coming
fact. I'm
out.
referring to the fact that you haven't even
Mr.
had enough
Brooks,
respect to tell
please
me
be
it's been
respectful
received.
to the jury. They're coming out.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to tell me if my ICF has been received. ICFs that you told me to submit. You told me that.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will disregard the commentary by Mr.
I
Brooks
accept for
at this
value in
point.
return for value this document. Just like you've been hiding everything from the jury that they
The
need to
jury
hear.
will disregard. The court is not hiding anything from the jury.
Yeah, you are.
So,
Yeah, you
Mr.
are.
Brooks, please be respectful of the jury. They're
And
coming out.
You should be respectful
We
of
are.
what you asked
You are
me to
addressing
do.
issues that are not related to evidence
They
in
are.
this case.
You asked me to do
Mr.
something,
Brooks,
I do it,
please.
and
All
then
right.
now it changes.
Everyone can be seated. Thank you.
This is ridiculous. Just like subject matter jurisdiction hasn't been proved. Just like you're making judicial determinations that you don't have to
Hold
prove
on.
anything by law,
Hold on.
which is a tacit agreement by you, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please disregard the statements currently
Why? 'Cause
being
it's
made
true?
by Mr. Brooks.
Why?
They
'Cause
are
it's true?
Incorrect statements of the law. They
Then
are
prove
not
that they're
evidence
incorrect. Prove.
in this case.
Where's the proof? Where's the legal proof?
And you need to disregard them.
Because you don't have it.
And we are
don't
going
have
to
legal
continue
proof.
with testimony, Mr. Brooks. I warn
I
you,
don't-
do
I don't-
not interrupt.
I
or
don't
we
identify
will
by
have
that
a
name.
discussion about whether you will continue to be here.
Sir, yesterday when we ended for the day, we were at the point where we were talking about you interviewing the defendant, Darrell Brooks, on November 21st, 2021 at approximately 11 o'clock p.m. Do you recall that?
Objection. I don't think it's being called that name for the record.
Objection is overruled.
Yes, I do grounds for the overrule.
Not relevant.
Yeah, it is relevant.
And Exhibit 81 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Objection.
Let me get the exact time of it.
Objection. I didn't provide any statement on the 21st.
Jury will disregard the statement by Mr. Brooks. He is not testifying, therefore his statements are not evidence.
And my objection should be noted for the record.
Before it begins, I just wanted to clarify, we had talked about it last night a little bit. What we are hearing today is the audio interview only, correct?
Objection leading.
Overruled is foundational.
Darrell?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Darrell. I'm Jeremy Wojcicki, I'm the FBI. FBI, yeah. that's my partner.
FBI?
Yeah.
Mary, yep.
They're just kind of helping out because we're so short-staffed tonight. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
that's all it is.
How's your shoulder, right? Is that where
Yeah, well, he said in 4 to 6 weeks I might have to get it because it's still something's wrong. I know.
You bang it up before or something?
Nah, it was just the way they slammed me.
Okay.
Hit the ground, kind of like went up. Boom, boom. That's where the knee came from. But,
well. Okay.
yeah, but the shoulder, I know something's wrong.
Yeah.
He said 4 to 6 weeks, the MRI won't be able to tell if anything's torn or anything like that. So
Okay.
FBI though.
We help out our local partners all the time. This is just something that we're here to help out
Because
with.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, believe it or not, we work at NPD a lot. We come down here, so we're kind of all over the place. But yeah, like Detective Carpenter said, we're
y'all for real. The FBI for real.
That's what this says at least, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be funny, but this is the first time I've ever even seen an FBI agent in real life.
We get that reaction from most.
No, because it's like,
Yeah,
am I in
a
a
lot.
movie right now? Y'all sure y'all not punking
don't-
or pranking me or something?
Yeah, you don't need to let that freak you out or anything. And again, we do work, so we work on a task force with MPD quite a bit, so
I'm
we are out
gonna
with...
put my arm like this just to stretch it out. I don't want you to think I'm doing nothing crazy.
You good?
Just,
You good?
it leaves some pressure. Something right up in,
No, you're good. Yeah, like she was saying, don't let them get all, don't let them make you nervous. Okay.
You'll be talking to me mostly and my partner a bit. No, they'll ask you a little too, but just trying to get to the bottom of everything. Look, you were found basically running around in the yard. You said you grabbed dude's phone. That's
No, I
really-
didn't grab it. I asked
I
him.
don't mean you stole it. You
Oh,
asked
yeah.
for it and you made a call. And that's just kind of what I'm up here to start with and get the background about it. If you're willing to tell me just what you were doing in the yard, because obviously we have the perception we got, like I told you. They said, okay, they had us write this warrant, get some of your blood. But I have one side. So what am I missing? I'm missing Darrell's side, right? I don't know what created all this, why these people are calling us. And I can't really clear that up, or I'd like to clear that up, but the best way to clear it up is if, you're willing to talk to me about it, okay? And that's just kind of what I'm here to sit down and chill with you about. We've been talking to you, about 4 hours now? And we've
Probably
been pretty,
longer.
Yeah, we've been pretty cool. It's been
Probably
pretty laid
longer.
back, so I'm looking to keep it that way. All right. Married at all?
No.
No?
As little as I am, I'm like, you have to slam me.
Yeah, how many kids you got?
3.
3? How old are they?
18, 14, and 7.
18, 14, and 7. Yeah, what do
Yes.
they like to do?
My baby girls, they into everything that's going on right now. The TikTok, the
They're always on the phone, right?
They always dance and making video. My oldest daughter just started high school.
Yeah.
And my baby girl she just started the 1st grade. So
So they could all
my son is the oldest. My girls are the youngest.
they could build a computer, but can't normally talk like we know how to, right? So you're born in Milwaukee?
Actually, Detroit.
Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Living in Milwaukee now?
Yes, sir. Grew up here. We left Detroit when I was I don't even think I was walking and talking yet. So,
Okay.
Milwaukee's home, Wisconsin's home, born and raised.
Okay. Not working right now, right?
No, not at the moment.
What do you do when you're working? What do you consider your job?
The last job I just had, I was working at a sheet metal place.
Okay.
Basically just they would have these hook things, you just basically, it's strenuous because you got to do a lot of lifting, and it's a lot of heavy lifting, but you basically just hanging these pieces on these hooks, and they're going through the thing, they're steaming them, painting them, then they come back around, and then you just box them up and load them.
So you're not married?
No.
You have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
You live with her?
No.
What's her name, your girlfriend's name?
Her name is Erica Patterson.
Okay. And last grade you completed in school?
12th.
Grade? Okay. Graduated high school?
Yes, sir.
What school did you go to in Milwaukee?
Riverside.
Riverside?
Yes, sir. Milwaukee Riverside Tigers. I see you smile. You know about Riverside, man?
I heard things.
We kicked y'all butt in football.
It was West Dallas.
Oh, no.
I don't think we play Riverside.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to know what Darrell has to say about, we got some people calling us saying this, he said, you made unders before? No, I wasn't driving. Someone thought you might have been. He had to get that warrant. He ended up calling a guy just to use his phone, kind of loitering around and just, how you ended up kind of being there. That's what they say.
No, I was going to say, I knocked on his door to use his phone.
Yep.
Definitely.
Right, but it probably wasn't him that called because he got his phone, but someone was concerned about something. So just trying to figure out what's going on down in that neighborhood. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Darrell.
He kind of, like I said, that wasn't probably the best, but I was just like, I need to get an Uber.
Yep.
I have money on my Cash App card.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to rob anybody.
Sure.
I'm not trying to break it and obviously you can tell I'm not drunk. I'm not, under the influence of anything. So
Okay. All right.
so basically what it was.
Okay. Understanding the above rights, Darrell, are you willing to speak with me? Us? Primarily me. I'm the one that's going to be doing most of the talking probably.
I just want to know a little bit more about what's going on. Just a little bit because
Like I told
just
you, I know very
confused.
little. I just know that, you were down in this neighborhood, someone called, they didn't know what you were doing down there and things like that. So I got limited from their side, but I'm looking to see, what you have to say about it. I'm looking to see, maybe the caller was just on some BS down there. I don't know. I don't know. But I can't really show the court that if I don't have, if I haven't talked to you. So that's why I'm here, just to kind of see what you got to say about it. Get your side of it. Running around a neighborhood's not the end of the world. It's not a huge deal.
Right.
Right.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't have had to do that if I made better decisions with women.
Yeah.
But not gonna point the finger.
Sure.
I'm a grown man. I make my own decisions, so I'm not gonna point the finger at nobody. I just didn't think.
Didn't think. Yeah.
What the hell?
You want to speak with me, Darrell?
Not right now.
So, was a decision made to speak with Mr. Brooks the following day?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name, leading the witness.
The objections are overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
What was the vibe that you got from him during those couple minutes?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name, leading the witness.
The objection's overruled. You may answer.
I would say friendly. I think when you heard the clip there, Mr. Brooks jokes about Riverside and football. The individual he was talking to at that time was Detective Stern.
Did Mr. Brooks at all talk to you about the loitering in terms of what the focus of your investigation was that night?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name, leading the witness.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, the statements he made in there, about, being in the area because he needed an Uber. He says more, to us about not knowing the area of Waukesha. He doesn't know the streets, things of that nature, and he just needed an Uber to get home. That was his reasoning for being down there, and he stuck to that reasoning the entire time.
So did you return to the City of Muskego Police Department the next day, November 22nd, to speak with Mr. Brooks again?
Yes, I
Objection.
did.
I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
I learned some additional information. One of the things I learned that morning was that there was a domestic abuse incident that had occurred between Darrell Brooks and Erica Patterson, something I was not aware of when I was with Mr. Brooks during the evening hours of November 21st. There was also much more information at this point in regards to the parade incident. We had narrowed it down to basically just Mr. Brooks, that there were not 4 people in this car, we were looking at 1 man. So he was now a suspect in the domestic abuse and driving in the parade. So I chose to begin the interview on the less serious matter, that being the battery charge that he was looking at with Erica Patterson.
How did you approach the questioning of Mr. Brooks on the 22nd?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
So when I began to speak with Darrell Brooks on the 22nd, I began with some very light conversation. I explained to Mr. Brooks that I had more information from the previous day. I explained to Mr. Brooks that his girlfriend at that time, Erica Patterson, had made some domestic abuse allegations against him that were physical in nature. I didn't indicate to him exactly what she said he did, but that there were physical allegations. We had talked extensively the night before about things such as him enjoying baseball, him having watched the Packer game, him having been disappointed by the result of the Packer game. And in situations such as interrogations, I think it's always important to let a person know that obviously I'm an officer, but I'm a human being, as are they. And you want to try to not let them see that barrier and feel comfortable talking to you. I think in any interpersonal relationship in society, there needs to be rapport. And I try to establish that before getting into the specific details of the crime at hand.
Was he complaining about any physical injuries?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, he was continuing to complain about the injury to his right shoulder, which he still at that time was asserting occurred when officers at the time of his arrest body slammed him.
Now, with regard to the second interview, the one that took place on November 22nd, was that recorded?
Yes, it was.
And would it be fair to say that recorded interview was 4 hours, 55 minutes, and 30 seconds?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay. Who's in that room?
Objection. Leader.
Overruled.
The person in that room in the red t-shirt with the mask partially covering their face, longer braided appearing hair, is Darrell Edward Brooks. The same individual sitting to my left in the suit, jacket, shorter hair, and surgical mask.
Hang the metal pieces on the the little machine thing that comes around. They take them. The pieces go through like this little steamer type machine thing, and then they paint it, and then they come back around, and we just take them off the hook and just put them in the box, load them up, put them back on the truck. It was 4 on, 3 off, so that was more ideal because
That's a great schedule.
I mostly have my children the back half of the week.
Sure.
But since all this, I've been having them every day. So it's like,
How old are your kids?
my son is grown. My oldest daughter is 14, and my youngest daughter is 7.
You said your oldest son's grown. How old is he?
He's 18.
They all live with you then in Milwaukee?
Well, my son doesn't.
Your son doesn't?
My son doesn't. But
Okay.
His 2 youngest kids, who did he say they lived with?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Objection,
It's my answer.
relevancy.
Mr. Brooks was indicating they were living with him. However, the investigation showed that not to be the case. Of the 2 daughters, one lives down in Georgia in the Atlanta area, and the other lives in Iowa.
only thing I want to know is, what in the heck am I being charged with anything?
Well, she's making some, like I said, alleged allegations against you, kind of, for being physical. So that's what, if that's BS, that's what I'm looking to hear from you. Okay?
Total BS.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, we couldn't track her down, so that's kind of where we're at. It's this typical back and forth stuff that guys like you go through with their baby mama all the time. And they're all, there's a lot of guys out there in your spot, and a lot of times, maybe it's not always fair to them, but that's kind of what
I
I'm
wish
trying
they
to
had a
figure out.
law to where people can, if you do that shit, you should get in trouble.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, why? You shouldn't be able to just be like, oh, I'm pissed off, so I'm going to call and do this.
Yep. I agree.
Like, why would you put me in that situation and then we're going to end up being together anyway?
And that's
Why
what
would you do that?
Trying to
And
judge
that's-
that credibility.
Yeah, and that's total BS. So that's what that's why we're sitting in here with you to try to sift through the BS, if that's what we got, and go from there.
Crazy, man.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking girl, man. I said this last night too, didn't I?
Yep.
She get drunk and remember I kept saying that
remember
she
you telling me.
fucking acts a fool and I'm the one that pays for it.
Yep.
Objection. Wasn't it just said we was 15 minutes in the interview? Why is it playing from 30 minutes?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Again, that's 30-26, you said?
30-26 to 40-30.
No.
What brought you to Waukesha yesterday? How did you get out here?
I was meeting up with a friend to watch the Packer game.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I was out here.
Where did you go to watch the game?
To a friend named Stephanie.
Her house, a bar, or?
A house.
Yeah, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable or anything, but what's the address there? What street
I
is it
have
on?
no idea about Waukesha. I don't know the streets.
What was it near? I know you had to see something near it. So what was it near?
Like a gas station?
Have you been to the house before?
No.
Never before?
No.
What's Stephanie's last name?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
When did you guys set this up?
Maybe a couple days ago.
Okay.
Like I said, I have a few friends. I have a few friends in Milwaukee that have people out here, so
Okay.
it's not, I don't, like I said last night, I don't know the streets in Waukesha. It's not where I usually hang out at, so I couldn't say, well, this street, and this, I couldn't.
All right.
Stephanie, like a friend of yours or like a friend of a friend?
A friend of a friend, mutual friend.
And what did you say
She's
her
just
last
like-
name was?
I have no idea.
How long have you known her?
That was my first time meeting her. So,
So how did you get the number to know the house to go to?
a friend.
So how did you get to her house?
My friend. I went with my friend.
Okay, who's that?
My friend, I don't really want to say his name. I don't know if that's going to incriminate him in anything. So,
Okay, so let's go with this. How did you come? I know you saw Erica yesterday in Waukesha because we talked to her. Now I don't know everything that went on, and I'm not saying I believe everything she told the other officers. How did you come to meet with her in Waukesha? 1, and 2. You say you don't know Waukesha, but where did you meet her? A gas station, a park? I know you met her. Where did you meet her? What happened yesterday?
Yeah,
So, because if this is BS, like you say, and I know you met her, what happened?
I met
What
her
happened when you met her? Where did you meet her? Let's start with that.
by a gas station.
Okay.
I don't know what I was supposed to be getting some money from her.
Okay. For what?
It was the rest of my money that she had of mine that she was holding for me.
Okay, how much?
It was supposed to be $350.
Okay. And why did she have it? Why was she holding
Well,
it?
she had been holding it for me for a few weeks now, but like I said, I hadn't seen her. She had seen
Right,
my
but
mom.
why did she have it? Why was she holding it for you?
She was just holding it for me because I told her to hold it for me. But it didn't have anything to do with, this was weeks ago. She had been holding the money. And because I had no contact with her, I couldn't tell her, and my mom wasn't going to let her come to the house to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, look, man, if I'm going to be out there, I'll meet up with you and get the money, but I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not having sex with you. And she was just like, oh, you want to kill? I'm like, I'm not finna do none of that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to be around you. I get that. I understand that. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not supposed to be around you. I love you to death, man. You're my baby mama. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't supposed to be like a hangout thing. I told her, I'm like, I'm out here. And she's like, oh, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And I'm like, look, I'll meet up with you to get the money and, you know, give you a hug or whatever. But she was like, well, gee, I need something. I'm like, no, we can't do all that. I'm not going to have sex with you. I'm not going to hang out with you or none of that.
All right. So you told her you weren't going to do any of that stuff.
No.
How did you set the meeting up? Did you talk to her on the phone, Facebook Messenger, text message?
I talked to her.
I don't think she said anything about that. So just, I mean, if she's BS, how did you
Yeah, because this is what she does.
Hold on one second. Hold on, one thing at a time. How did you set the meeting with her? How do I verify?
That's what I'm saying. If she can't get in touch with me, that's what she'll do. She'll go to social medias and do all this and try to talk to people and all this and that. I got in contact with her through a mutual friend that we both know. And I was like, okay, tell her I'm out in Waukesha or whatever, and I'll meet up with her to get the money. And then she put us on the call. And she was just like, where you at?
Three-way call?
Yeah. And she was just like, where you at? I'm like, look, I don't know where I'm at. Do you still got that money? She's like, yeah, I want to give you the money, and I want to do this and do that. I'm like, no, I'm not finna hang out with you. I'm gonna meet up with you, get the money, give you a hug and kiss. We'll talk later.
Was it still daylight?
It was still daylight. It was still daylight.
So
after the fact.
This was, I think the game was still on.
Yeah, it was on. So
The game was still on.
left Stephanie's to go.
Yep. The game was still on. So I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I want to see you. I ain't seen you in like a month. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to lie and say, man, that's my baby mama. I love this woman. But I can't hang out with you. I can't do anything with you, you know, that type of thing, deal, and whatever the case may be. But, yeah, that.
And this is on your cell phone? The three-way call, obviously, is your cell phone because you're not on the phone, right?
My friend's phone.
Friend's phone.
Yeah.
But yesterday, so do you have your phone?
No. That's what I'm saying. No.
So who is the friend whose phone you were using to talk to her on a three-way call?
I don't want to say his name because I don't want to.
Okay, I guess, so you saw her, though, right? You met up with her? Okay. So, how did the conversation with her end?
With me walking off and her being pissed off that I didn't want to hang out with her. I said, look, I'm not supposed to be around you. I'm gone.
Okay.
When she
Whose
said,
car did you use to get out
she
here?
said, I didn't have a car.
No, whose car did you use to get to Waukesha?
My friend is the one that said he was going to go hang out and watch the Packer game. I said, I'm going to go with.
Okay. Whose car did you use to get out to Waukesha?
I didn't use anybody's car.
Where does your friend live?
My friend lives in Milwaukee.
Sue, you didn't walk to Waukesha. Whose car
No.
did you guys use? to
My
get
friend,
out?
I just said my
What
friend.
type of car is it?
I,
I'm just trying to figure out how you got here.
yeah, I know, but it seemed like you trying to like spin me up or something. Like
I'm just asking how you got here. Whose car did you drive out here?
I didn't drive at all.
Whose car did you come out here in?
My friend.
Okay, right. What kind of car is it? So here's the thing, Darrell.
Okay.
Obviously, she's coming at us. I told her she's talking about some domestic related issues, okay? I don't know if she's on BS. I don't know if she's not.
I'm telling
Hold
you.
on, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. I don't want you to get...
Yeah, because
Hold on, let me finish. I don't entirely know all that, okay? I'm just right now trying to figure out how you got out here. So I got to step out with my partner for a minute. Just relax. I don't want you to get you all nervous, okay? But, I'm not trying to be confrontational, but I don't think when you meet her out in Waukesha, and you're not from Waukesha, I think a reasonable question is to ask, how did you get out here?
Yeah.
Whether you drove, someone else drove, and if so, when you got out here, what type of car you were in. So just, every hour or so, my boss, he knows we're out here. I just got to call him and say, yeah, we're talking. I'll call you back later. Just got to step out, throw in a line with him, and we'll come back. Just chill out here, enjoy your soda. We'll be right back. All right? Sound good? Okay.
so we done talking or?
No,
No,
we'll
come back and
Just
talk.
chill out, and we'll be back.
You just
I
gotta
want
make
to
that
back in that cell. I just got to make that call.
That check-in call.
All right?
In the middle of the conversation?
Well, do you want to tell me about the car?
We'll just go another couple minutes.
Yeah, but I'm
I mean, I got to call him. I can come back, but I just...
listen, I'm willing to listen, Carpenter. You've been straight up with me. You've been straight up with me, right? All I'm saying is I just want to know what I'm looking at and if I can just notify my girls. That's it. I don't have a problem with talking to you guys at all. I just want to know what am I looking at. That's
Well,
it.
at the start, she called about some domestic abuse-related stuff. Now, I didn't talk to her myself. I told you that at the start. You said she was crazy. We talked
Y'all
about
know that.
it.
Y'all talked to the woman.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Other
I
officers-
apologize. You talk.
Slow
Other
down.
officers that we listened to the interview.
Slow down, Darrell.
Did she look beat up? Did she look like, dude?
Darrell,
Like,
listen
come
to me.
on now, man.
Slow down, dude. All right? We can't explain it to you if you keep talking over us. You know what I'm saying? All right? I didn't talk to her. I didn't see her. Okay? Now,
He is saying, what am I looking at? Do you recall him saying that in this video?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, I do.
Was this a theme throughout this 5-hour video?
Objection leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, it was.
You had stated initially when he came into the room he had complained about some shoulder pain.
Yes, he did.
Did that continue throughout the interview?
Objection relevancy.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
So, I would say what happened is it went on and off. So at this point here, the interview at this point in time was what I would describe as laid back. A lot of it was simply getting background about the overall relationship between Mr. Brooks and Ms. Patterson. During that time, he was fine. He was moving his arms, as you could see in this clip. He wasn't complaining about pain. What I noticed and made me question the legitimacy of the injury before ever actually even seeing the body cam is I noted at times of stress later in this interview as I continue to push on a vehicle, I can see, as you could see here, I believe it can be seen here in this interview, talking about the car made him uncomfortable. Complaints about the pain would suddenly come back.
How about the request to be told what he's looking at? Did you see any correlation between that and what was occurring during the interview?
Objection speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes, that, as I say, that continued throughout the entirety of the interview. And really at this point was a little unusual because right now he had been told he was looking at the domestic. The parade hadn't come up. So a reasonable person, I believe, at this point of the interview knew what they were looking at. They were looking at a domestic abuse incident. Why simply asking him how he got out here as far as transportation made him nervous was alarming.
And then she makes this complaint when she gets you back.
Yeah, and it's like, why do you do this to me? And I promise you, my right hand to God Almighty on the throne with Jesus next to his side, the woman is going to sit up there and say, I was drunk, I was mad, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, now I got to go through everything just for you to do that. Why did you do this to me?
So you think she's going to come back to us?
I know we have the witness, I've been told, and the interpreter available. So I would like to put further testimony and watching of these clips on hold. We do need to take a witness out of order in order to accommodate the interpreter that the court has arranged for. So, Detective Carpenter, you may be excused momentarily. This will be Mr. Juan Marquez being called by Mr. Brooks. And Mr. Brooks is calling Juan Marquez. Is that true, sir? Mr. Brooks, are you calling Mr. Marquez as a witness at this time?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Marquez, if you would accompany the interpreter all the way to the witness stand. When you get there, we're going to have the interpreter sworn first.
Do you swear that you will interpret truly, accurately, completely, and impartially in accordance with the standards prescribed by law, the Code of Ethics for Court Interpreters, and Wisconsin Guidelines for Court Interpreting?
I do. Certified Spanish interpreter Patrick Ryan.
Thank you. And Mr. Marquez, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn by my clerk?
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sí. Yes.
Please have a seat.
Juan Márquez.
Juan Marquez.
Juan.
Juan.
Marquez.
Marquez.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir. You may question this witness.
Good morning, Mr. Marquez.
Buenos días, señor Marquez.
You were at the parade on November 21st, 2021. Is that correct?
Usted estaba en el desfile del 21 de noviembre de 2022, ¿correcto?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
And do you recall who you were there with that day?
¿Se acuerda con quién estaba ese día?
Con mi esposa y mi hijo.
With my wife and with my son.
And were you marching in the parade that day?
¿Usted estaba caminando en el desfile ese día?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you remember who you were marching with? Was it a
caminando?
particular group?
Un grupo particular?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you recall who that group was?
¿Se acuerda quién era el grupo con el cual estaba desfilando?
Sí.
Yes.
And at some point, you felt something hit your leg?
Y en un momento usted sintió que algo le pegó su pierna.
Es correcto.
That's correct.
And do you remember what that was?
¿Se acuerda qué fue?
Un vehículo.
A vehicle.
And did you see the vehicle?
¿Vio el vehículo? ¿Lo vio?
No.
No.
At some point, did you go to Freighter Hospital?
¿En algún momento usted pasó al hospital Freighter?
Sí.
Yes.
And were you interviewed by any law enforcement at that time?
¿Usted fue entrevistado por algún agente policial o policía?
Sí.
Yes. Do you recall if it was regular officers or FBI?
¿Se acuerda si fue un oficial regular o fue la agente de FBI?
FBI.
FBI. Do you recall telling them that the truck was black?
¿Se acuerda que usted
Grounds.
The objection is sustained as to leading. Please rephrase your question.
Do you remember what color you told them the truck was?
¿Se acuerda si usted se acuerda qué color dijo él, qué color la troca fue?
No recuerdo.
I don't remember. So it would be fair to say you don't recall seeing anything at that time?
¿Se puede decir que usted no se acuerda de nada en ese tiempo?
No.
No. And did you at any time file a claim related to this incident?
¿En algún momento usted archivó un reclamo con respecto a este incidente?
No recuerdo.
I don't remember. Do you know if anyone you were with filed a claim related to this incident?
¿Sabe si alguien que la acompañó si archivó un reclamo con respecto a este incidente?
No lo sé.
I don't know. Would you consider yourself an injured party in this incident?
¿Usted se considera una parte herida, lesionada debido a este incidente?
Sí.
Yes. Any reason why you wouldn't file a claim since you considered yourself an injured party?
Por eso que usted
Grounds.
se considera una persona no herida durante ese incidente. ¿Alguna razón por la cual no archivaría un reclamo?
There's an objection. It's sustained as to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
Por favor, diga la pregunta de nuevo.
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
There's an objection. You don't need to answer.
No tiene que contestar.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Please rephrase, Mr.
Por favor,
Brooks.
diga la pregunta de diferente manera, señor Brooks.
It's kind of hard to rephrase.
Es un poco difícil si la pregunta de diferente manera.
Did you intend on filing a claim related to this case?
Objection.
¿De archivar un reclamo con respecto a este caso?
Hold on. There's been an objection. The ground.
Your Honor, first of all, this witness testified he doesn't recall filing a claim, so I'm not sure what the relevance then would be of the question.
The question was, did he intend to?
I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
Do you recall at any time filing a police report?
¿Se acuerda en un momento usted de archivar un reporte de policía?
Sí.
Yes. Do you recall at any time being notified that you could possibly testify in this incident?
¿Usted se acuerda que en un momento que la notificaron que en un momento usted podría testificar sobre ese incidente?
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
Could you repeat the question? Sure. Do you recall at any time being notified that it was a possibility that you could testify in this incident?
¿Se acuerda que en un momento podría, si lo notificaron, que habría sido una posibilidad que usted podría testificar con respecto a ese incidente?
No.
No. Were you ever subpoenaed in relation to this incident?
¿Lo citaron alguna vez a corte con respecto a ese incidente?
Sí.
Yes. Do you recall who you received this subpoena from?
¿Se acuerda de quién recibió el citatorio de corte?
Del distrito de la oficina del fiscal.
From the office of the district attorney. And do you recall when that was?
¿Se acuerda cuándo fue?
Un mes y días.
A month and a few days. After receiving the subpoena, did you follow up with the district attorney's office at any time after?
Después de recibir entonces el citatorio, ¿recibió algún tipo de seguimiento por medio de la oficina fiscal después del incidente?
Sí.
Yes. Do you recall whom you spoke with?
¿Se acuerda con quién habló?
Susan.
Susan.
Would that be referring to Attorney Opper, who is seated at this table?
¿Se refiere a Susan Opera que está sentado a esa mesa?
Sí.
Yes.
And were you at any time informed of a plaintiff in this incident?
Objection to relevance.
Sustained.
Firma la oposición.
You don't need to answer that
No
question.
tiene que contestar la pregunta.
Were you at any time notified that there was a plaintiff in this incident?
Objection to
Grounds.
relevance.
The objection is sustained. The witness does not need to answer.
Do you even know if there's a plaintiff in this incident?
Objection to
Grounds.
relevance.
The objection is sustained. The witness does not need to answer.
You recall ever seeing, excuse me, do you ever recall, sorry. Do you recall ever seeing or reading a complaint in this matter?
Entonces, ¿recuerdas usted vio si leyó la acusación criminal en este asunto?
No.
No.
Going back to the actual incident, would it be fair to say that at the time you were very confused?
Volviendo entonces al incidente, ¿se puede decir que en ese tiempo usted estaba bastante confundido?
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
Could you repeat the question?
Going back to the time of the incident at the parade, would it be fair to say that you were confused at the time?
Volviendo entonces al momento del desfile, ¿se puede decir que usted estaba confundido en ese tiempo?
No.
No.
Any reason why you don't recall seeing anything?
¿Hay alguna razón por la cual usted no se acuerda de ver algo?
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
Could you repeat the question?
Any reason why you don't recall seeing anything?
¿Alguna razón por la cual usted no se acuerda de ver nada en ese tiempo?
No vi el vehículo.
I did not see the vehicle.
Solo pasó.
It just passed by.
Just so we're clear for the record, you don't recall actually seeing the vehicle.
También, sí, vamos a estar clarificando por el acta. No se acuerda que vio el vehículo.
No.
No.
No further questions.
No más preguntas.
Good morning, Mr. Marquez.
Buenos días, señor. Good morning.
On November 21st of last year, were you walking with the Catholic communities of Waukesha?
El 21 de noviembre del año pasado, desfilando con Catholic communities of Waukesha.
Es correcto.
That's correct.
Hold on. What was the objection?
I mean, you
have to speak up. I couldn't hear what you said.
I have a code, so I can't.
Mr. Brooks, was there an objection so I can move on?
Yes, there was
On
an
what
objection.
grounds?
I can't even remember now.
Well, if you were objecting on relevance, it's relevant. His answer may stand.
It wasn't relevant.
You were with your wife and your son?
Estaba con su esposa y su hijo.
Sí.
Yes.
And your son's name is David Marquez?
Objection leading.
El nombre de su hijo es David Marquez.
Overruled. You called the witness. The state may lead. Go ahead and answer.
Contesta la pregunta, por favor. Si puede contestar.
What does that mean?
Go ahead and answer, sir.
Conteste, por favor.
Sí.
Yes.
You testified that at some point you were struck by a vehicle.
Objection.
Usted testificó en un momento que usted testificó que
Overruled.
fue pegado por un vehículo.
You may answer.
Puede contestar la pregunta.
Sí.
Yes.
Did you have any warning before you were struck by the car?
Objection.
Tipo de advertencia,
Hearsay.
de aviso antes que fue chocado por el carro. Me pongo a evidencia por referencia.
Overruled.
Anulada.
The witness may answer.
Puede contestar la pregunta.
No.
No.
Did you hear a horn honking?
Escuchó
Objection.
una bocina, un claxon.
Hearsay.
¿Está sonando el vehículo? ¿Un claxon?
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Puede contestar la pregunta.
No.
No.
Sir, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 161.
161.
Do you see the approximate area where you landed after the vehicle struck you?
Usted fue el área aproximado.
Objection leading.
después de que el vehículo lo
Overruled. The state may lead. It's not their
no
witness.
soy testigo.
Go ahead and answer, sir.
Adelante y conteste, por favor.
So I can lead too if it's not my witness?
No.
No.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that later.
Vamos a llegar a eso.
There's been an objection. I'm overruling it.
Está anulada la sesión.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Haga su
The
pregunta.
state can do what they want.
Do you see the area in which you landed after the vehicle struck you?
Después de que el vehículo lo chocó.
Sí.
Yes.
I'd ask that this exhibit be admitted to evidence, which is 161, and published to the jury.
Objection.
Obrigado. Entonces, 161.
We can't even see who's what exactly is the state referring to.
¿Qué se refiere al Estado?
You can't even see who it is.
No veo quién es.
Just state your objection.
Su
It's
oposición
overruled
anulada.
Of course, it's going to be overruled.
because it's attempt to testify. But if the state could just ask a few more foundational questions, please.
Certainly. When you met with the state, did you review some video of the parade?
Objection, hearsay.
Me pongo evidencia por el país.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No puedo contestar.
Sí.
Yes.
And after reviewing that video, were you able to determine the area in which your body landed after you were struck by the car?
Objection, hearsay, and leading.
Overruled as to both. You may answer, sir.
Después de que entonces se recibió entonces el choque del carro, determinó el área. ¿Se acuerda dónde su cuerpo quedó después de que el vehículo chocó?
Sí.
Yes.
And do you see that area on this exhibit?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Sí.
Yes.
I'd ask that this
Every objection.
exhibit be admitted to evidence and published for the jury.
Objection, what's the relevancy?
The objections are noted. They are overruled. And Exhibit 161 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Can you circle the area in which you believe you landed?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
How do you say where they believe?
¿Dónde cree que se quedó?
Either you know or you don't.
The witness may answer.
Sí.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Can you do that now?
Puede ser eso, entonces marcar el lugar donde se cayó.
That's where it gets fixed the whole case.
If we can take a snapshot of that.
I don't know what Mr. Brooks just mumbled, but it's not his turn to ask questions. There was no objection. The jury will disregard that.
And this would be Exhibit 161A.
161 is received. 61A.
Thank you. And do you see anyone that you recognize standing in that area?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. The state may lead. It's cross-examination of your witness,
So
sir.
I can lead on cross-examination then?
I direct your attention to 906.11 sub
And I
3,
lead
sir.
on cross-examination?
I'm not going to answer that. Go ahead,
So
sir.
that's
You may
just your
answer.
determination that you don't have to answer that? If I don't understand something?
The jury will disregard the comments being made by Mr. Brooks.
Judicial determination, okay.
Go ahead and answer the question if you recall it, sir.
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Do you see David, your son, in that picture?
Objection. That
Sí.
was,
Yes.
And is he wearing?
so my objection is not going to be noted.
The objection is overruled. The state chose to ask a different question. That's fine.
And is he seated near some blue chairs wearing a blue jacket?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer, sir.
Sí.
Yes.
And sir, is that you laying down and you can see in this picture your legs and they're hanging into the roadway?
Objection, leading.
Witness may answer. Overruled.
Sí.
Yes.
Is that where you were walking when you were struck from behind?
Objection,
in that
leading.
position?
Overruled. You may answer.
No puede contestar la pregunta.
No.
No.
How far from the position that you recalled yourself to be at when you were walking did you land?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
Me opongo de evidencia por evidencia. Anulada. Puede contestar la pregunta.
Entre 15 a 20 pies.
Between 15 and 20 feet.
So your body flew through the air between 15 and 20 feet. Is that what your
Objection
testimony
leading.
is?
Sí.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't rule on the objection, but it is overruled and his answer may stand.
Was David also struck by a vehicle during the parade?
Sí.
Yes.
Did he received injuries as well?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled. You may answer.
Sí.
Yes.
Can you describe what your injuries were, sir?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
Anulada. Puede contestar.
Sí.
Yes.
What were they?
¿Qué fueron sus heridas?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Pongo pregunta insinua. Anulada.
La fíbula
My fibula
y ligamentos.
and ligaments.
Your fibula was broken?
Objection leading. Speculative.
Overruled as to both.
That's
The
not
witness
what
may
he said.
answer.
Sí.
Yes.
And you had torn ligaments?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
You didn't say that in the question before.
Sí.
Yes.
And were those both in the same leg?
Objection leading.
Sí.
Sorry,
Yes.
overruled.
Anulada.
If we
Of course.
just wait when there's an objection. I'm overruling it. It's relevant. It's not leading. The witness's answers may stand.
I mean, yeah, you overrule every objection.
And the jury will disregard the additional commentary made by Mr. Brooks at this time.
Judicial misconduct at its finest.
And which leg was that, sir?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled.
Anulada.
You may answer.
Puede contestar la pregunta.
El pie izquierdo.
My left leg.
Did you have to have surgery on that leg?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Posición, pregunta insinua. Anulada.
Sí.
Let's
Yes.
see what y'all
Just
trying to
one?
Nada más una cirugía.
do. Trying to get here.
Dos.
2.
That's not gonna work either.
Mr. Brooks, you are advised to stop with the commentary.
No, I'm gonna say what I want
You
to say.
called this witness. I'm going to take a break right now and excuse the jury and this witness.
All right.
What you doing is judicial misconduct. Judicial misconduct. But you don't want the jury to hear the truth. That's not fair to the jury. They have a right to hear everything. Not finna sit here and let you fix the trial because you don't want to tell the truth to the jury.
Mr. Brooks, please stop.
No, ain't no please.
You are
nothing.
being disruptive.
Ain't
You
no
are being
please nothing.
disrespectful.
You always
The
gonna
witness
find
may
some
step
reason to
down.
say somebody's being disruptive because they want the truth to be out there. Man, quit it. You supposed to be the
Mr.
judge.
Brooks, I'm advising you that continued interruptions will result in you forfeiting your right to be
Okay,
present
and
in this
under
courtroom
what law and
during
fact can you do that?
Illinois versus Allen.
Okay,
sir.
but the fourth option that you made up, that's not even in the law,
Mr.
because you
Brooks,
can't do that.
I need to make a
By law,
ruling.
you can't do that,
I need to
and
make
you
a
know you
finding.
can't.
All right, I'm going to excuse everyone. Mr. Brooks is being removed from the courtroom. He will continue in the neighboring courtroom. Please make sure he has his objection signed and a pad of paper.
So is that
he can
so is that holding me in
meaningfully
contempt?
participate, and I will make a ruling when I.
So are you
after we
holding
come
me in
back up.
contempt? Is that civil or criminal? This is BS, man. Y'all do the same thing every time, man. Every time she don't want to tell the truth to the jury, somebody got to get put out of the courtroom. That's contempt. That's contempt of court. I'm not ignorant, man.
You can set a seat to get that on so you can get these off.
BS,
Throw
man.
that thing forward.
No. Have them back up. Okay, slide back, sir. Take 2 steps back, just so he doesn't bump your leg. There we go.
Mr. Brooks, prior to the court removing him, had interrupted the court approximately 10 times prior to 10:19 a.m. Then, of course, he was removed. This does not include the repeated commentary, either under his breath but still audible for the court to hear, the jury to hear, and witnesses to hear, related to a variety of topics, including subject matter, jurisdiction, misconduct by the court, disapproval with the court's rulings. This very last witness was a witness called out of order at the request of Mr. Brooks. He has forfeited his right to be present during the cross-examination and any redirect of Mr. Marquez. Mr. Brooks's conduct has been anything but respectful. The record should reflect the jury is being brought back in. The state may continue with its cross-exam of this witness.
The state would have nothing further.
All right, Mr. Brooks, do you have any redirect for this witness? Mr. Brooks, do you have any further questions for Mr. Marquez? The record should reflect that Mr. Brooks is reading out of a book. He has not answered the question. I will ask one more time. Sir, do you have any further questions for Mr. Marquez?
Am I unmuted?
You are. You have been.
What's going on?
Do you have any redirect questions for Mr. Marquez? This is your opportunity to ask any follow-up questions that you have for this witness.
Say something. I'm trying to see if the headphones on. It's supposed to be on a certain channel. Can someone say something from the other courtroom?
Have any questions for Mr. Marquez at this time? It's your opportunity to ask follow-up questions. The state indicated it did not have any additional questions.
Nope, I don't got no follow-up question.
All right, thank you. Then, Mr. Marquez, you may step down. Thank you for being here today. The court is going to continue with the direct examination by the state of Detective Carpenter. I would like you to come back to this courtroom. Are you willing to conduct yourself consistently with the decorum and respect inherent in the concepts of courts and judicial proceedings?
I didn't do anything to be held in contempt in the first place.
So are you willing to abide by the rules of decorum and civility? I would direct your attention to SCR Chapter 62, which has been provided to you previously.
Does that say anything in there about me being held in contempt?
That does not, no.
So why have I been held in contempt?
I didn't hold you in contempt, sir. You are simply in a different courtroom based upon your disruptive behavior. I'm giving you the opportunity.
Has not been disruptive.
I've put my findings on the record, sir, and the record stands in that regard. I'm giving you the opportunity. if you can, indicate to this court that you will conduct yourself with courtesy and decorum. Are you willing to do that, sir?
Is Your Honor willing to tell me why I've been held in contempt?
I did not hold you in contempt, sir. I've already indicated that.
Removing me from the courtroom is like holding me in contempt.
I didn't hold you in contempt. You were removed pursuant to the authority given to me by the United States Supreme Court in Illinois versus Allen, based on your disruptive behavior.
My behavior wasn't disruptive, Your Honor. The record should be corrected in that. And as I recall you stating before, or not you stating, but us having a conversation about Illinois versus Allen for the record at one point. I got the date in my notes that we had it where I said on the record that there were three options identified. And
Mr. Brooks, I'm not going to have a debate with you on what the law means and whether you understand it or not. I'm simply asking you whether you are willing at this time to abide by the standards of courtesy and decorum that are outlined in SCR Chapter 62 and that are inherent in the concept of courts and judicial proceedings, including making proper objections based upon the rules of evidence, based upon the rules of procedure, based upon the law, and that you will generally conduct yourself with dignity and decorum.
But
is it not my right?
Is it not my right to object?
I'm going to ask Mr. Brooks one more time if he would like to come back to this courtroom and if he's willing to conduct himself with dignity, respect, and decorum.
But for the record, I don't consent to being called that name, and I never stated that I wanted to be removed from the courtroom.
All right, I'm going to mute Mr. Brooks. He is clearly not answering my question. And given his recent conduct, I'll indicate he continues to forfeit his right to be present. So with that, why don't we have Detective Carpenter come on back to the stand. The jury is advised to come out. He wants to come back? All right. The witness can stay here. Please have the jury remain. We'll have to clear the courtroom so he can be brought back in. We'll be in recess for that.